My name is Serena, and the day I became a mother was the same day I became invisible. I had been in labor for 19 hours. 19 hours of pain, fear, and a husband who kept stepping out to make calls. I didn't think much of it then. Daniel was always busy. That was what I told myself, that his absence was just who he was. Our daughter came at 3:47 in the morning. 7 pounds 4 ounces. The most perfect thing I had ever seen. Daniel held her for maybe 4 minutes. Then his phone buzzed. He kissed my forehead, said he'd be right back, and walked out of the delivery room. He didn't come back until morning. I found out about the account 3 days later. I was still in the hospital when my card declined on a small purchase, a nursing pillow from the hospital gift shop.
$11.
I checked my banking app and sat there, completely still, while the number loaded. $14.38. Our joint account had held $47,000 2 weeks before. Money I had saved over 6 years.
My salary.
My discipline. My future. I called Daniel. He didn't pick up. I called again. Nothing. I called his mother, Margaret, because somehow I still believed that was a reasonable thing to do. She picked up on the second ring. Serena, dear. How are you feeling? Margaret, something is wrong with our account. Silence. Then, Daniel will explain everything when he gets there. Gets where? Margaret, where is my husband? She hesitated 1 second too long. He's handling some family business, sweetheart. Don't stress yourself. You just had a baby. Daniel came that evening with flowers and a speech he had clearly rehearsed. His brother Kevin had a debt. A serious one. Men who didn't negotiate. Daniel had used our savings to cover it because what was family for? He said it like that. What was family for? As though I was supposed to nod and understand. You took $47,000 from our account, I said, while I was in labor. I knew you'd react like this. React like what, Daniel? Emotional. Dramatic. I looked at my daughter sleeping in the hospital bassinet. I looked at my husband standing there with grocery store flowers. And something in me went very, very quiet. Not broken. Quiet. There is a difference. 3 weeks later, they showed up at my mother's house. My mother had passed 8 months before. Breast cancer, 14 months from diagnosis to the end. She had left me her house, a modest 3-bedroom in a decent neighborhood, because it was all she had, and she wanted me to always have somewhere to land. I was staying there now with the baby, because our apartment didn't feel safe anymore. Daniel came with Margaret and Kevin. They sat in my mother's living room, on her couch under her photographs, and Kevin slid a document across the coffee table. A deed transfer. It would just be collateral, Kevin said. Until we get back on our feet. 6 months, maximum. I picked up the document. I read it carefully. Then I set it back down. You want me to sign my dead mother's house over as collateral for a debt you already paid with my money? It's a family solution, Margaret said. We all make sacrifices. I already made mine, I said. $47,000 worth. Daniel reached over and put his hand on mine. Serena, please. I need you to do this for me. I looked at him. I really looked at him, the way you look at something you are seeing clearly for the very first time. Get out of my mother's house, I said. They didn't believe I would do anything. That was their first mistake. Their second was not knowing that my mother's best friend was a retired family law attorney named Gloria Simmons, and that Gloria had been calling every week since the funeral just to check on me. And that 3 days after they showed up with that document, I was sitting in Gloria's home office with every bank statement, every transfer record, and a very clear picture of what had happened. He took marital funds without consent, Gloria said, reading through everything. During a documented medical event. That's not just a marriage problem, Serena. That's a legal one. We filed within the month. Daniel did not see it coming. I think he genuinely believed I would soften, that the baby would make me need him, that exhaustion and isolation would do what his family's pressure hadn't. He didn't know that exhaustion had made me clearer, not weaker. The divorce proceedings were not pretty. Margaret cried in the mediator's office. Kevin sent long text messages about loyalty and betrayal. Daniel told mutual friends I had abandoned my family during a crisis. The crisis he had created. With my money, while I delivered his child. The court saw the transfers, the timestamps, the documented withdrawal dates against my hospital admission records. I was awarded full custody, child support, and a settlement that, while it didn't return everything, returned enough. My daughter is 2 now. She has my mother's eyes, bright and steady and a little bit amused by everything, like she already knows something you don't. We live in my mother's house. We are not going anywhere. Some mornings I sit on the back porch while she sleeps and I drink my coffee and I think about that hospital room, about the moment my card declined, about the flowers Daniel brought like they were an explanation. I think about how close I came to signing that document. And then I think about Gloria's voice, calm and certain across that desk. That's not just a marriage problem. That's a legal one. Someone in my corner. Finally. That's all it takes sometimes. One person. One moment of being seen. They thought I was alone. They forgot that alone and unguarded are 2 very different things. My name is Serena.
And this is my story.